So this idea of trying to present Bhagavad Gita in three main concepts came from the commentators of the great acharyas on Bhagavad Gita. Haribo. The great sages, they divide Bhagavad Gita in three. They are the first 6 chapters, then the middle 6 chapters, and then the last 6 chapters. And there are 3 core concepts in each of these groups. So we try to summarize them as duty, love, and knowledge. So when I say duty, what do you think about? First of all, what is your reaction? Emotional duty, and then how do you define duty?
Supposed to, I think.
Job. Okay, job meaning something that you don't really want to do, but you have to do, or you pour your heart into it. It's fulfilling.
Sometimes 12.
Yeah. And yeah, you said something.
I think it's something you've made a commitment to do.
Okay.
So it's like prior commitment, now is the duty to perform.
So you made the commitment because you were inspired by some lofty ideal.
I don't know why the commitment was made. I can't figure
Can
that
be different.
Why
Okay.
duty? I don't know why duty. But
Okay.
nonetheless, there has been a commitment
Right.
for some reason.
Yeah.
Moral action that should be done for the betterment of the whole world.
This is very deep, yes. And you ought to do it no matter what. Patrick.
There's different types too. There's like a legal duty,
Yeah.
right? The moral duty, spiritual duty.
Family duty.
Yeah.
Sometimes they overlap. Very often in the modern scenario, people think about duty as something you have to do because you don't have any other choice. And people they often feel like they have to do their duty from 9 to 5, and then they're like Jack in the box. They just, finally, now I'm free. I'm off duty. I can do the things that are really fulfilling. However, the concept of duty in Bhagavad Gita and in the Vedic literature is different. Duty or dharma is explained as the inherent nature, the very essential thing that defines you. And we are hearing that there are 2 main sets of duty. One is spiritual, but this one we'll leave aside for now. It's a very interesting topic, but let's discuss a little bit the material aspect of duty. In this material aspect, all of us, we have, as I mentioned, our inherent nature, and we have acquired this inherent nature over many, many lifetimes. And right now, it manifests as our natural proclivity or propensities towards certain segment of the field of activity. The field of activity is, of course, this material body, but also the world around us. So when we observe the world, we naturally develop interest in certain aspect of this world. If you enter in this room, for example, and if here we have gathered different items of interest, let's say in this corner we have books, or in this corner we have weapons, and over there we have musical instruments, and over there are some trade stuff, interesting for people who do some business. So all of us will we'll go in different corners naturally. This is what happened, Prabhu mentioned Mahabharata, when there were this great princes, Pandavas. They won in a Svayamvara, that means a ceremony where here you go. So this is just the introduction now, and I will hand the mic to Tulasi. But so they, one of them, Arjuna, he won the hand of a wonderful princess, Draupadi, in a Svayamvara. Svayamvara means there is a competition, and the princess, she can choose among many princes, right? Many royalties. They'll come and they'll compete. and then there was a certain task, and then Arjuna, this Kshatriya prince, he managed to fulfill the task, and then he won the princess Draupadi. But then, for different reasons, and they were dressed not like Kshatriyas; they were dressed as Brahmanas, as priests. So the brothers and the brother and the father of Draupadi, they didn't know who are these people actually, because they were in disguise. So they invited them to the palace. They wanted to ascertain who are these people actually. They are dressed as Brahmanas, but they don't look like Brahmanas. They look very powerful, and they bear some sign of some marks of bow here, and the voices are low and accustomed to issue orders, to shout orders. So they don't really look like Brahmanas. So let's see who are these people. So they invited them in the palace, and in the big hall there were 5 thrones, and also there were different items, as I mentioned. There were some weapons, and there were some Brahminical items interested for people who are like intellectually inclined, items for Vaishyas, etc. And then the Pandavas, they immediately, first of all, they very comfortably, they sat down on the thrones. These are royal thrones. So, for example, if I enter a room and there is a royal throne there, I will not sit there. I just don't feel comfortable sitting there. It's not my position. But they just sat down and they are at ease. They discussed, and then they saw the weaponry. Immediately they moved there, and they started to check out the weapons. They were discussing, and then Drupada and Drishtadyumna, they were looking, and they just looked at each other. Well, now it's clear. These are Kshatriyas. So this is our inherent nature. And according to our inherent nature, then this defines our duty. This is a very interesting concept if you think about it. So the thing that actually fulfills you, the very natural propensity that you have, is actually your duty. And why? Because, very simple. Because in this way, by fulfilling your internal drive and following your, people like to say, following your heart, then you will give the best result to the community at large and to God. Because you naturally get the best result, and naturally you offer it to the community and to Krishna. So this defines your duty. It's not supposed to be something tedious, something that you don't like to do. This is the modern scenario, because the modern society is not governed according to the sane Vedic principles. It's kind of a chaotic condition. But normally duty means what actually is in your heart and how you want naturally to contribute to the society. This is your duty. And of course there are rules how you properly perform your duty. You're not supposed to perform your duty in any way it pleases you. It should be regulated. There are many rules which are for your benefit. So this is the first concept, duty. Maybe okay. I will say very shortly, and then. So duty, our work, should be performed in a certain way, with certain consciousness. And this consciousness is with knowledge, first of all. We should know that we are not the body, we are the spirit soul. We should perform our duty without attachment to the result. We should perform our duty just because we have to perform our duty. And then, if we're not attached to the result, if we sacrifice the result for a higher cause, the highest cause is God, Krishna, then we'll be freed of the reaction of this work. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, Yagyartat karma no nyatra lokuyam karma bandhana, tadartam karma kantya mukta sangha samachara. The work should be performed as a sacrifice. By renouncing the results of our work, by not desiring to enjoy them now, what happens? We prove that we don't have to take birth again in this material world. Why? Because if you don't want the fruit now, that means you don't want them in future as well. And that means that you don't have to take birth again to enjoy the fruit of your work. Therefore, you attain liberation. Because you don't want to enjoy the fruits, that means you don't have to suffer the bad results of your work as well. It goes hand by hand. And by doing this, we attain liberation. This is called akarma. We know the concept of karma. That means we get a result of our work. But akarma means that if we perform our duty selflessly as an offering to the Supreme, then there is no result. There is no neither pious nor impious result, nor pious nor sinful result. But this concept is not enough. You don't just perform duty in such a intellectual way. We are emotional creatures. We are guided by emotions most of the time. So in the middle 6 chapters, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, he explains that it's not enough just to perform your duty with knowledge and detachment. You have to perform your duty because you want to please somebody. And the best person to be pleased is God himself. So in other words, perform your duty with love in your heart for me, because I'm your best friend. And then the last 6 chapters, Krishna gives us knowledge. Because although we have, of course, he gives us knowledge even prior to that, but specific knowledge. Because even if you have the best intention and you perform your duty, and then you have a love in your heart, if you don't know actually what is the science behind work in the material world, then you won't be able to perform your duty properly. And then the science is the knowledge about the 3 modes of material nature. It is just like a map. When you go downtown or uptown or wherever, often, or in the park even, often you see a map. And the map of the neighborhood or in the park always has a red dot there, and it shows you are here. Otherwise, you cannot navigate the map properly if you don't know where you are right now. A map becomes useless for you. So this dot, you are here, is given in the last 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. How? Because we navigate this material world according to our position in the 3 modes of material nature. Krishna explains the symptoms of these modes. He explains the mode of sattva, the mode of goodness, has such and such symptoms, characteristics. People in this mode, they act in this way, they eat this type of food, they dress in a certain way, they speak in a certain way. And the result of their work is such and such. And then the people in the mode of passion, they are eating in such and such way, their mentality, their desires are specific. And then the people in the mode of tamas also. So then we can actually understand by honest investigation, by analyzing our behavior, we can see, okay, I am obviously somewhere here. And then if you want to ascertain your position precisely, then you can always ask some saintly persons, some spiritual master or other advanced people, friends who are also aware of this knowledge, and they will help you out. And then you can navigate. If you know where you are and you want to go to a certain place, let's say, you know, you're in Brooklyn, you want to go to Manhattan, then you are properly situated. You know, I have to get out of this building, I have to turn right, go to the subway, then get a A, C, or F train, then I'll go wherever I want to go. If you're not sure, if you think you're in Manhattan, but actually you're in Bronx, and you want to go to Manhattan, then you are lost. Although you have many good intentions and sincere. Therefore, it's very important to know where we are right now and how to proceed to the goal. Just go, please. Yeah, maybe.
I think you already said it.
Well, I was just the introduction.
Maybe I can just elaborate a little bit. Hare Krishna, everyone. Happy to see you here in our new lotus room. The essence of Bhagavad Gita in 3 words or 3 concepts, Pandava very nicely he explained. We can take these 3 words, duty and love and knowledge. We can put them a little bit in a different way. Need some knowledge. As Pandava was saying, we should know where are we and where we want to go. And then we are ready to do something. Also, if you're going to do something, you should be enthusiastic enough to do it, yes? For example, if you are going to work today and you have to work 8 hours, but they tell you, I'll pay you $20 at the end, you may not even start the work. So you need enough inspiration to be able to work. So knowledge helps for all this. Knowledge helps us to understand where are we, what we want to achieve, how to achieve it. And then if we are enthusiastic enough, then we are ready to put the endeavor. And here comes the idea of duty, because when we do something that we are good at, we will get the good results. If we are not so good, maybe the results won't be so good. But Vedas actually explain that there are 2 important things in terms of action. One is your skills. Are you good to do something, some kind of job? Like, for example, you are a good carpenter, or you're a good businessman, or you're a good soldier. So you need a certain set of skills to be able to do this job. But then the other very important thing is, do you have the proper mentality or nature to do this job? For example, if let's say if someone wants to be a judge, but he has a cheating propensities, is he going to be a good judge?
In US, yes.
Okay, you caught me here. Okay, I have to think about another example. Okay, let's say someone wants to be a taxi driver, but he has a cheating propensity. What about this one? You
Bad sense of direction.
You may be in a trouble. So like that, skills are very important, but actually even more important than the skills is the nature that you have, the mentality that you have. Because if someone has a particular mentality to do a certain job, and even if he doesn't have the skills, you'll be able to train him the skills most probably. If he has some talent, maybe for a few months, maybe a year, maybe 2, he'll become kind of expert in terms of skills. But then if he doesn't have the proper nature, it will be very, very difficult, actually. So that is very important. Always we have to consider in terms of our duty, do we have the skills to do something, but also do we have the proper mentality to do it? And there are different mentalities, like some people, they are very much about finding the truth and defending the truth. For them, it is very, very important that things are righteous. And if they see something not righteous, they are ready to fight for it. And these are the real leaders in terms of politics, the governmental leaders of society. Because if someone has these qualities, wow, okay, now we are talking. There is this famous story from the Vedas about a Vedic king. He went for a battle and he was fighting very good, very well. He was a good fighter. But still the opposite army was very, very strong. So at the end he lost. And he just came back to his kingdom, his palace. And he was kind of very morose. And he just said, please call my wife to come. And they went to his wife, and she said, did my husband won or he lose? They said, he lose. She said, okay, then tell him this cannot be my husband, because my husband will never come back in the palace losing the battle. He'll either win the battle or he'll die, but he'll never come losing. And they brought this message to him. When he heard, he said, okay, new army. He came out, he went over, and he came back. So this is a particular mentality. It's not just skill. You have to have this in you, otherwise how you're going to do it. So like that, when it comes to duty, we should try to find what skills we like to do, but also which mentality is helping us. There are people, it doesn't matter where they go, they only see one thing. They see how they can make money from this situation. Now, these are natural business people. Everything, like you serve them a plate of food and they'll say, wow, this is amazing. If you sell this food, every day, you are on this and this street, so 2,000 people are passing, at least like 10% can go inside your place. Wow, you make this and this. Immediately, this is how his brain works. And you have other people, like they give the example, you have another people, they just sleep. And next to their bed, they have like a box with rice. And every day at some point, they wake up and with his feet, they just touch the box. If it's heavy, still I have enough rice. They continue sleeping. Then the moment they feel the box is too light, okay, I have to get up and go and do something. This is also a certain mentality. So like that, we, in terms of duty, we have to see what is our nature. If we engage as close as possible to our nature, then most probably we'll get better results, and also we will feel more happy, isn't it? Like, for example, if we ask me to become a person who works 8-10 hours a day on some building construction, I can tell you I won't be happy. Most probably I will lose consciousness after 3-4 hours. If I have to bring all this like bricks and cement. Actually, I did it for 1 month when I was 18. But yes, or if you ask some person who is not so much into sciences or study mathematics, just to sit down and whole day to make some calculations or study, I don't know, philosophy or medicine or these things, he will become crazy. So it's very much important what we do to be according to our nature. This will make us happy. And then what Pandava mentioned is, when we do something, again, we have to do it for someone, to give pleasure to someone. And actually, this is the most important thing in life. Sometimes, actually, it's not so important what exactly you're doing if you have strong enough motivation for who you're doing it. As there is one important person who often speaks, like in podcasts and YouTube, he says, we should find a reason strong enough to be able to transcend the sufferings in our life. So all of us will go through some difficulties in life, through some sufferings. But if you have strong enough reason why you're doing it, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Is it cold? Is it too hot? Do I have some pain? No, if I have strong enough reason, I'll anyway do it. So like that. And then as Pandava said, there is a gradation of letter. Yes, we can sacrifice for ourselves or work very hard. Why do you work? Because I want to give pleasure to myself. Okay, some kind of sacrifice, but it's quite selfish sacrifice, isn't it? Then you can sacrifice for your family, for your kids, for your wife. It's even better because it's less selfish. You can sacrifice for the country, or you can sacrifice even for the whole humanity. Okay, I will be the first man to go on the moon, and I'll stay in the history, and this will be, how is it? A big man for humanity, small Small step for the man, big step for the humanity. So like that, you can sacrifice for the whole humanity. But even higher than this is to sacrifice for the origin of the whole existence, the origin of whole humanity, and this is God, Krishna. How does it work? Well, everything is part of God, and if we give pleasure to Krishna, automatically all the living entities, they will be happy and satisfied. Just like if we give food to our stomach, automatically the whole body will get energy. Yes? Have you tried sometimes to eat food through your fingers without putting the food in your mouth? Maybe there will be some nutrition, 0.001%. You know, like sometimes people, they put food on their faces and they get some nutrition, like whatever.
Face mask?
Yes. Milk, honey, chocolate, coffee. You absorb them. Little bit, but you absorb something. But that's not the right way to give energy to the body, isn't it? What's the best way?
Eating.
Eat it, yes. And when the food goes to the stomach in some miraculous way, somehow the whole body becomes energized. Each and every cell, each and every part of the body. It's inconceivable how exactly it happens, but it does happen every day. So in the same way, if we give some water to the root of the tree, the whole tree becomes energized. We don't go to water each and every leaf one by one, but we just give the water to the root, and then the whole tree becomes energized. So in the same way, the root of the creation, this is Krishna. The moment we try to give pleasure to Krishna, automatically all the living entities becomes happy, become satisfied. And this is a fact. It is a fact because we have many different stories from the Vedas, from the Puranas, that they are showing this. Like, for example, we have amazing story from Mahabharata. How many of you know about Mahabharata? Okay, some of you. So Mahabharata is one of the great ancient history books in India. It's actually maybe the biggest book in the world. Huh? Is there a big book?
Yeah, it's the biggest.
100,000 verses. So it's a big thing. So many stories with amazing wisdom inside. So in one of those stories,
It's also the book that has the most characters. There's no other book that has
So many.
characters.
okay. Someone told me it's 3-4 times bigger than Odyssey and Iliad together.
Yeah, Odyssey, yeah.
Together.
Yeah.
So it's a big book. So Pandavas and the Kauravas, these are the two main families, and they are cousins and they have to be friends, but somehow it doesn't work. So Kauravas, especially the main of the brothers, Duryodhana, he is always envious to the Pandavas, who are always the good guys. Somehow everyone likes them and they are all very pious and they are always doing the right thing. So he is very envious. So he wants to finish them somehow or other. He was trying many ways, but it doesn't work. So at the end, a great mystic yogi came to his kingdom, Durvasa Muni. He's very famous. He has special mystic powers, very powerful person. And he was traveling with his many disciples, like 10,000 disciples. And Duryodhana, who is a king, took very nice care of them. And Durvasa, the great sage, he was very happy. He said, I'm so satisfied from your service, I want to give you a special blessing. What would you like me to do for you? And then Duryodhana, he thought, okay, this is a good opportunity to finish off the Pandavas. But how to do it in an intelligent way? He knew Pandavas are living in the forest, so they don't have much money and resources. But he knew they have a special plate. And this plate was given to the wife of the Pandavas from the god of the sun. So it was like a mystical plate. You can order as much food as you like from this plate before you eat. Before Draupadi eats, the wife of the Pandavas, she could order as much food as she likes. So Duryodhana thought about it and said, if I manage to make Duryodhana go with all his disciples there and they cannot take proper care of them, he'll become angry and he'll curse them, and this will be the end of the Pandavas. So he said, oh yes, actually I have my cousins and they are so dear to me, and they are in the forest now. If you can go and visit them, I'll be so happy. But please, I want to ask you for one specific thing. Please go to visit them after they finish with their lunch. And he said, yeah, sure, no problem, I can do that. So Pandavas are living peacefully in the forest, and they are trying to feed the local sages as much as they can, and they are eating their food. So this day they just ate, and who appears? Durvasa Muni, the great sage. And he said, now I'm here, you have to take care of me, feed me, because they are still kings, living in the forest, but still kings. They know this is our duty, to take care of the sages, protect the sages, feed the sages. So they didn't know what to do. We're going to do, like, he's not alone, 10,000 people, how are we going to feed them? They were so disturbed, but Yudhishthira, the emperor, he said, okay, let me just win some time and then we'll see what we're going to do. He said, yes, my dear great sage, of course we'll take care of you. No problem, that's easy task for us. But please go to the river, take your bath, perform your noon spiritual duties, and when you come back, everything will be ready for your lunch. And then Durvasa left, and they were thinking, what we are going to do now, what we are going to do. So all of them, they are great devotees. They are really surrendered to Krishna. So they started praying, like, difficult situation, how we are going to come out of this. And then Krishna, suddenly, all of a sudden, he appeared there in the forest. And they are like, wow, thank you very much. Very happy to see you. So we have a little bit problem here, you know. And they described the situation. Krishna said, no problem, just, Draupadi, give me something to eat. She said, but the problem is there is nothing left. Like, we served to the brahmanas and we ate ourselves, and there is literally nothing. Krishna said, just look for something in the pots. And she just brought like a small vegetable, like insignificant vegetable. She said, Krishna, this is the only thing I can offer you. He said, oh, if it's from your hand, this will be sufficient. He took it, he ate this vegetable. He felt so satisfied that immediately all these sages that they were taking bath in the river, you know, Veda saying normally if you have a bad digestion, you have to go and take baths in a river or in the ocean directly. This works very good for your digestion. So although they were in the river taking baths, suddenly all of them, they felt some super heaviness in their stomach, just that they overate, just like a minute ago. And they were like, they started looking at each other and they were like, do you feel the same what I'm feeling? And yeah, I don't know what happened. Suddenly I feel so full. And they just look at each other and they didn't know what to do. And they thought, wow, now if we go back, they just prepare a huge feast. How we are going to eat? This will be very embarrassing. So let's just move on. Let's just not go back. And they just left. So this is amazing story that shows how if Krishna is satisfied, everyone will be satisfied. Yasmin tushte jagat tushta. If the Lord is happy, the whole universe becomes happy.
Who is Krishna? Because someone's coming there like, who's this character?
Who is Krishna? So Krishna, he appears in this book and he appears in many books. Krishna is one of the names of the Supreme, of the creator of the universe, controller of the universe. Actually, the Supreme has many qualities. The Supreme is not impersonal, it's not just some energy, but has qualities, has a character, likings and dislikings. So we can address a person by describing his qualities, isn't it? Does it work like this? Does it work in this world also like this? Like, for example, you go to some, I don't know, some people somewhere in the, I don't know if still they exist in the middle of America.
Amish?
More like Vinnetou. You know about Vinnetou?
Native Americans.
Yeah,
Native Americans.
Vinnetou, like. So those personalities very often I mean, when I was young, I really liked to watch these movies about the Wild West and this and that. Western. So they always had these interesting names. Like, for example, you have the name the Strong Hand, or
Black elk.
yes,
Black elk.
Sitting bull.
yeah. So something like that. So actually, his name will be connected with something very specific in his character, or he did something very, very powerful. Like, for example, uh, in our countries, I'm from Bulgaria with Pandava, Europe. So we had many, many years ago, there was a legend of a great warrior, and his name was John, who was fighting with a bear. Because he fought with a bear, but he was so strong, he managed to conquer the bear. So they gave him this special name because he did this amazing task. So like that, God also, he has many, many names. He doesn't have only one name. And we can call him in many different ways according to his qualities. Like, for example, we can call him Allah. What is the meaning of Allah?
Supreme.
Supreme, yes, Almighty, the most powerful one. Or we can call him Buddha. What is the meaning of Buddha? Yes, the awakened one, or Buddhi in Sanskrit means intelligence, or it's connected with knowledge. So someone who has the greatest knowledge, the enlightened one, Buddha. Or we can call God Rama. What is the meaning of Rama?
The reservoir of all pleasure.
Yes, the reservoir of all happiness, all pleasure. Because when you connect with God, you naturally become happy, satisfied. So in the same way, the name Krishna has a meaning. Krishna means the person who is the most beautiful or the most attractive. So like that, absolute reality or the supreme is not impersonal, rather has qualities, and we can approach to him with any of those names. Like, for example, a man will turn to his wife and he'll say something like, sugar, can you bring me this? Meaning she's very sweet, very nice, very, yes. Or honey, or baby, you're very cute. So like that, we use certain names to show a certain qualities in the person. So same in terms of spiritual reality. Is that okay? I would like to open now a little bit for questions or reflections if you want to say something. I think we two together spoke enough.
I have a question. You're saying you were saying that ideally we do something that's aligned with our duty and with our psychology, right? But most importantly, it's like we find a why, and if we have like a strong why, we can do anything, even if it's hard, difficult. At the same time, Pandava Prabhu was saying that it's not enough to do your duty; you have to do it with love and offer it. Is it possible to do something you don't like at all and do it with love, even if the why is like whatever, but it's something that you're carrying bricks in your head 8 hours a day, but you don't really like it. You know what I mean? It's hard if you don't.
I didn't like it.
Okay,
Yes.
exactly. So
But I
it's
knew I'll take some money. So I was
yeah.
motivated.
But the love is not there,
I
right?
had love for money.
Not enough love if you only last 1 month. Anyway, that's my. What do you think?
No, I was just practical. I had only one summer, so I thought, let me work out of the summer to make the money, and then how the summer I'll spend the money. That was the idea. Yeah, both things should be there, ideally, meaning we are doing something that we like to do, but we also should know why we are doing it. But we have many examples in the history that people, they transcended the job that they are doing, like it or not, just because they had strong enough why I'm doing it. If there is a strong why, then anyhow we work. How is not so important anymore. If we don't have why, yes, then all the details, they are very, very important. But ideally, we should have both. We should have a strong motivation, and then we should do something that we are good at. And then this will be ideal, the best situation. I think just the lady, she wants to ask me that.
Yeah, I wanted to know about, as someone who suffers with a lot of religious trauma, and I also have disabilities related to it, right? Mental health challenges and other forms of pain, it becomes really hard, even in spaces like this, to connect to the spirit and to let go and to feel the higher power when you have that mental and other physical sensations. And just what do you think helps, to connect? Sometimes I say, okay, if there's so much activity in my brain, I have to move my body, right? And vice versa. So, but I'm still working on it, and it holds me back to just truly let in the light.
It's good to start with something which is close to our nature, something that is not a pressure, something that helps us. And it's connected with the spiritual thing. For example, maybe let's say if we say, okay, can you get up every morning at 4 o'clock and do meditation for 2 hours? You can feel this is too much physically and mentally for me. But maybe if we say, oh, while we are going to work in your car, would you mind to listen a little bit meditation music, mantra music? So actually this can be something very pleasant, but at the same time it helps you to make spiritual advancement. So like that, we have to, as Pandava was saying, we have to see where are we, and we just have to try to make one step at a time. We shouldn't jump too much. If we jump too much, then at some point we will have to come back a little bit. So just make the next step, and then in this way gradually we will advance. Like Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gītā, I am the taste of the water. That's a nice meditation. I mean, how many times a day we drink water? So every time we drink water, we just remember, oh, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he's the taste of the water. Or we just say Hare Krishna with this drinking of water. We'll become a perfect yogi till the end of our life. And it's so simple. It doesn't require anything special. Like, you don't have to be very austere. You don't have to be very rich. You don't have to be very intelligent. Just so simple. So some small practical things we can take in our life, and then gradually work. And if you feel something is a little bit too much for us, okay, just relax a little bit, slow down, and then do it again. It's like with the exercises. I can give you an example. I decided that I want to make muscles. Do I look like a person who can make muscles? No. But anyway, I decided I want to make. So I started training. And I was training. I was making push-ups. Do you know how many push-ups I was making? For like, let's say 20 minutes.
50? 100?
100. Yes. Wow. And then what happened? I damaged my shoulder. And then how many I was doing?
Nothing.
Next year.
0. 6 months. So it just shows that our body and our mentality has a certain amount of weight that can take. And if we overdo it, most probably after that we'll have to slow down. So that's why, to keep it balanced, it's practical. Is that okay? Thank you. Yes.
One of the concepts you talked about was love, and I'm wondering, why does Krishna have to become involved with this love? Because love is giving pleasure to somebody else. So if we give pleasure to our wife, or our family, or our community, why does Krishna need to become involved? What benefit does that give?
That's a good point. We can look from two perspectives. Like, one perspective is our nature. Our nature is we'll have to do something for someone. Because if we think about it, this is the thing that makes us happy. Like if we just live our life completely selfishly, we will never be happy, satisfied. We have to sacrifice for something, for someone. Like there are many people, they don't have a person next to them to sacrifice for, and they'll get some pet or something like that. But they have to do something for someone because this is fulfilling their heart in some way or the other. Now, if anyway we accept this idea that we're going to serve someone or something, then obviously there will be gradation of things that we can serve too. Yes? And we can see that, like, for example, uh, in the movies, what we consider a good movie, there will be an event that will finish the world, okay? The end of the world is coming. And then we have our person, he's the hero. But he was actually an ordinary man, and he was just married man, and he was working with like a beautiful wife and 3 kids, a nice job, and just ordinary man. Suddenly something is happening, and the world is coming to an end, and now suddenly it happens that he is the man. He can do something about it, and now this is the big conflict. Okay, this is my life, and I can continue living my life the way how it was always, or I can sacrifice myself, but this will help so many other people. And now we have this dilemma in the movie, and they are showing, and then he's just like, no, forget about the world. I'm going back to my family. This will be a great disappointment, isn't it? I'm not going to watch this movie second time. Or if it's something like Braveheart. Have you saw this movie? It's a very old movie. It's very good. I think it got 11 Oscars or something like that. At that time, it was very, very good movie with Mel Gibson. This movie, at the end, I start crying. But there is no good outcome. I mean, the good man is dying at the end of the movie. It doesn't make sense. It should be the other way. But no, actually, there is so much emotion there. Why? Because he is sacrificing himself for something higher. So like that, we can see there is a gradation for what we are sacrificing. And then, if you think about the world history, we can see that the personalities that they sacrifice the most for the humanity, they were considered special heroes. Those who sacrificed for the spiritual benefit of the humanity, they were considered even greatest heroes. Isn't it so?
Like who?
Like, for example, Jesus. He sacrificed 2,000 years ago, and still the whole world is praising Jesus. I want to surrender to you, Jesus. It shows his glory is unlimited. And yes, there were many other people. They also sacrifices for the benefit of the people. In the wars, they died, and they gave them special like medals, and there are special monuments in their honor. But still, after a few hundred years, people forget about them. But those who sacrifice completely themselves for spiritual cause, they are even more glorified. So from this perspective, we can understand there is some gradation. Yes.
I think of the imagery of you're a leaf, and you've got some water. You're holding it to yourself. You're selfish, and it's not really doing anything to you. But then you see your friend, the other leaf there. You're like, oh, let me give them water, and you hand it to them. There may be, but still, it's not really doing much for them. Maybe a little bit drips down. The further it goes down to the root, then it's actually making benefit. But you're holding it to yourself, or it's just between the other person holding it for themselves. But if it's not connecting to the whole body of everything, and since you mentioned
Very nice example.
Native American names, and I mentioned Black Elk, so I wanted to read a quote from Black Elk. He's a famous sadhu. The first peace, which is the most important, is that which comes from within the souls of people when they realize their relationship, their connection with existence, all of its powers, and they realize that the center of existence is the Great Spirit.
And at the center, and that its center is everywhere. It's within each of us. So the Great Spirit is, it's everywhere.
Beautiful.
And that's where you get the great. That's the peace that you get. That's when you get.
Hi, I'm Destiny. Okay, so in this practice, Krishna, is it look well, let me say my background. So I'm a musician. I like to sing and I also like hip hop and like to rap. But what comes along with that is me expressing myself sometimes in a vulgar way or like with profanity. Is that like looked down upon because it makes me feel good and I feel like I'm serving other people by being myself? So I want to know, is that like something to shy away from in this practice, or is it celebrated because it makes me feel good and I know that because I'm feeling good in that moment, I'm helping other people feel more confident, feel like they could do whatever they want. And what I mean whatever they want, do whatever they feel is important to them. Like if they feel like they can never go to school, become like a firefighter or something, they just feel like that test is too hard. When they hear my music, they know before the day starts, I can get this, I can do this. But it has like profanity in it. So is that looked down upon like in this practice?
Can you connect your music with God?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this will be the most important thing.
Okay.
And then the towers gradually you can, God will guide you from the heart and He'll give you intelligence what to do, how to do it, because you want to give people something real,
Right.
yes, but at the same time you should be able to connect with the people.
Right.
So how to do these two things at the same time is not so easy. It requires some intelligence. So you already, I guess, have some connection with the people. Now you have to find the balance how to give them some spiritual message and at the same time not to lose them. If the message is too spiritual, they may not be able to identify with it. So they'll just say, oh, I don't like this musician anymore. But then on the other side, if you just try to give them whatever they want to hear, but you're not giving them anything substantial, then at some point you may not feel satisfied within your heart. So you should be able to do both. Give them something real, give them something that will be really for their benefit. And at the same time, they should be able to relate to your music, like a style, like a way of presentation.
So to clarify, what you're saying is like be authentic, but still like find a way to connect with people that.
Yes, be authentic, meaning give them something substantial, give them some spiritual message, something that can actually change their life. Because the people are what they are.
Yeah.
And you have to address them on a place where they are.
Yeah, this is where I'm at.
But then we don't want to leave them there.
Exactly. You
We
want to
want to
elevate.
help them to elevate.
Yeah.
So how you do that? When you give them some substance.
Yes. Yeah.
And this substance is something connected with their spiritual elevation.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm thinking of Raghunath Das Goswami's Sri Mana Shiksha. And he's not like, he's vulgar. he's like, he's saying truth, but it's not all airy fairy. Some of it's like, this is like he's speaking in really heavy language, it's not like just soft language.
So the medicine is there. Now, how you're going to give it, is it going to be with a candy or without candy? It depends on the audience. Yes. And also our Raghunath, he's a good example. Can you say a few words?
So our friend Raghunath Kapo, he's throughout his life, he has been impacting thousands and thousands of people through music. And so when he was about 15 years old, he had a punk band. Of course, a lot of vulgarity, it's just like heavy, it's hard, but it had such a deep, powerful message. And he was coming so authentic with it that it transformed thousands of people. And then his band became world famous, and then he left it all, became a monk. And then as a monk, people are like, you need to do this same thing, but bring the deeper message. And so then again, he started another band, and it was a punk band. and that again was
Very powerful.
thousands and thousands of people to this day have been affected by this band worldwide. And then he started teaching yoga. He started bringing hundreds and hundreds of people every year to India and training them. And throughout his life, he's been affecting people. But the point is to be authentic. Bring that medicine. Use your special talent. That's you're not meant to give something up, but use that talent. But find that it's like the electric that's running in the system. You have to connect it with divinity, and that's it. And once that's there, it could be your style. It could have the vulgarities there. It could have everything there. But it could have Balaram Shakti there. Balaram Shakti. He's been in a bunch of bands, and so the question was about like vulgarity and music. She does hip hop. She does rap. She does like, and it's like we're saying, you don't have to give that up. You don't have to even give up the style. Just find that. Make sure it's got some connection there, and then that will add that spice. Yeah. Thank you.
I remember actually now that you were saying about Raghunath, they had maybe 2 years ago a concert in Tompkins Square Park, shelter. And I said, let me just go and see, because I never saw them live, so I wanted to see them. And I thought I can also use the opportunity to distribute some books. I'm sure there'll be some nice people around. So I'm just going around, like they're blasting music on the scene, and I'm going around. And then I said, okay, let me just move a little bit aside, because it was heavy. And I'm going a little bit towards the end of the park, and I see this man coming towards me. He's a big man, very strong man, like some tattoos, a leather jacket, black. And I was like, shall I approach him or just move? Because he was looking a little bit dangerous, But anyway, I said, okay, dear Krishna, protect me. I will just try humbly. And I tried to stop him. And he was like, Hare Krishna. And I was like, this doesn't match like that. Outside and then inside, it doesn't match. And I was like, yes, actually, I'm a great follower of Raghunath. So many years, and I'm listening what he's saying, and I'm really trying. I'm reading some scripture, some spiritual books, and I even sometimes try to chant, and yes, what you're doing is great, and yeah, sure, I'll support, I'll take a book, no problem. I was like, what? Hare Krishna. So amazing transformation. You could see this person, he went through amazing transformation. So like that, touch as many hearts as possible.
I have one more question. So I'm primarily thank you. So I'm primarily a Christian, but I want to know, like, in Krishna, do you have to like pray to like a Jesus or like Mary in this practice?
Normally we don't specifically,
Mm-hmm.
but we do have understanding that God is one.
Okay.
He has many different representatives,
Okay.
but he is one person, so you can glorify him in any language using any name.
Okay.
No problem.
Like angels and stuff like that?
Yeah, totally
Okay.
fine. No problem.
Okay.
All spiritual people, all the good guys coming from up, you can glorify them. No problem.
Okay.
That's totally.
Like, do you have to pray to them? Like,
You can pray if you like, if you feel
okay.
so.
Okay.
You can pray to God.
Yes. Yeah.
And you
of
can
course,
pray
yeah.
to God with any name. You can call him Father. You can call him Jesus. You can call him Krishna. By the way, in one of our books it is explained that Christ and Krishna is the same name, just different languages. Like in India, some places they don't say Krishna, they say Krishna. And Krishna, if you go to Greek language, K becomes like a H, so it becomes Christa. Yeah, Christa. And then in Greek language, you always have at the end of the word this S, like on the streets everywhere, names. So it becomes from Krishta, it becomes Christa, then becomes Christos.
Nice. Okay.
Which is the Greek name, English name is Christ.
Okay.
So some people, they say Jesus Christ means Jesus, the son of Christ,
Okay.
of Krishna.
Okay.
So in any case, he's the same entity. He's the creator of the world, the Almighty, the controller, the enjoyer of everything.
But the center is love and peace and following your joy.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Thank you.
And service,
Service.
because
Yes, of course.
wherever
Yeah.
there is real love, there will be service.
Of course.
If there is no service, like your boyfriend or your husband comes and tells you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then you say, if you really love me, at least throw out the garbage. Just do something practical. What kind of love is it? Just buy me a flower. Do something.
Yeah.
Do something practical.
And what does that look like? Like being a missionary or something?
Oh, just try to spread the knowledge about God.
Okay.
Some will be missionaries. You have also your mission. You are a missionary. God already has a mission for you. Now you just have to accomplish the mission.
Yeah.
And it's not mission impossible.
I love those.
It's very much possible for you.
It's very much possible. I feel it.
Thank you. Yes.
I think
okay.
a lot of times, and before I knew about this practice years ago, a lot of times they see like the deities and like the Vishnu and and we think like, what is that? A lot of people think like, oh, they're praying to some dark god, snakes coming out of its head. Until you learn what it is, it's just representatives of certain aspects of your psyche, of your consciousness, which I didn't know for many years until I knew. So they're not necessarily like this real 3D person. They're aspects of all of us have of ourselves that we can learn to heal with, which I didn't know. Like, for example, who's the woman, the goddess of like Earth, Durga. Durga is one of them. There's many, right?
Oh, they're real. They're real.
Well, they're real, right? But they are still aspects that you use to heal. I mean, I suppose they're real on another realm, right? We can say, yeah, which is different aspects of our consciousness. So, but I didn't know.
So you're saying like we are each other. Is what you're saying?
Basically, yeah, we are all one because our consciousness connects.
Yeah.
We're all. I always thought when it connected for me, it was like, oh, if we were all created by one, then we're all linked.
Well, in this practice, it's kind of like a Russian doll or something. Like we just.
You can look at it that way, sure. Yeah.
It's like the origin of everything has different energies. And many times we will see around us those energies, they'll be personalized. Like for example, a God, he's the source of great power and might. And then you, let's say, see some great fighter, amazing fighter. And when you see him, he's not God directly, but obviously God entered in him through his special energy of might and power. He's specially empowered. So we don't say he's God, but obviously the energy of God is there. So he's some kind of manifestation of God.
That's why when Kanye said that, and then went into a tizzy, but he is God. We are God.
Yeah, I never did either because I kind of understood what you were saying.
Right.
So we're actually a little bit past time. And so we always finish with a short kirtan. We'd like to ask Tulasi Prabhu to lead the kirtan. So we thank Tulasi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
You'll be able to catch him after the class and present
Yeah, we can talk
questions
more.
to him.
I need more.
We'll do a short kirtan and we'll serve you a delicious dinner here.
And now if you're not too shy, you can dance also if you like.
Yes.